All right, good evening, everyone. This begins the public hearing for the October 21st, 2021 Zoning Board of Appeals hearing, and I, at this time, will turn it over to the board chair.
Hey, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. So good evening, everyone. So for over a year now, we've been conducting our zoning board meetings virtually. And we recently went back to in-person meetings in July and September, but because of new state of New York disaster emergency declarations and executive orders, we have amended to move our zoning board hearings back to virtual. So primarily these orders and amendments waive the requirements for an in-person attendance at this hearing and permit us to hold the hearing by teleconference, allow the applicants to present by teleconference, and allow public comments to be submitted by email, by hard copy document mailed to the zoning office or deposited in the secure drop box located in the link entrance or in the permit office of City Hall, or by call-in to the hearing. Written public comments and requests to schedule the call-in comments were all required to be submitted by 5 p.m. yesterday. So although the conduct of this hearing has been altered, many things remain the same. All the normal notifications for this hearing, including mailed notice, publication, and the posting of notice were all followed. All the normal timeframes for applicant presentation and public comments remain the same. The normal staff report was prepared and posted on the city's website. And most importantly, this board will hear, review, and make decisions about all the applications with the same diligence and using the same standards required by the zoning code. Before I begin, I want to explain the ground rules of the hearing. When a case is called, the applicant will have 15 minutes to present their case to the board. The applications and full staff reports were all posted on the city's website at least a week ago and were available for the public to review. As the application is being presented, staff will identify and show the pages of the application that the applicant is addressing. Following our normal procedure, the board members may ask the applicant questions about the application. After the applicant's presentation is completed, any scheduled call-in comments will be heard, and staff will read into the record any written comments that were submitted after the staff report was posted on the city website. Comments will be limited to 10 minutes if submitted by a neighborhood association and 3 minutes for individuals in the reading of submitted comments will be summarized to fit within these timeframes. If multiple written submissions repeat the same comments, staff will summarize those comments. After any call-in comments have been heard and written comments have been read, the applicant will have an additional 5 minutes to provide rebuttal testimony. At the conclusion of the applicant's rebuttal, the case will be closed. After completing all of the hearing on tonight's agenda, the board will take a short break, which will be announced if we take a break. After the break, the board will commence deliberations and voting on all applications, except any application that has been adjourned to another meeting date. Also, please note that if your case is approved today, a written notice will be mailed to you within 15 business days. The decision will inform you of the next steps to complete the approval process. So before we open the first case, please note that we are all volunteers. I would like each of the board members to confirm their presence for purpose of a roll call and to establish a quorum for this hearing, and to introduce themselves and mention their area of expertise. And they'll also let you know where in the city they are from. So we'll start with Cora. Go right ahead, Cora. Introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cora Murphy. I'm in the northwest section of the city, and I'm a real estate broker.
Thank you, Holly.
Hi, everybody. My name is Holly Wheeler. I work in higher education, and I live in the northeast section of the city.
Thank you, Joe.
My name is Joe O'Donnell. I live in the northeast section of the city. I'm a practicing architect in Rochester.
And I'm Tyrese Bryant. I live in the southwest section of the city. I've got a background in urban planning, and I work in real estate and land use development. So just an FYI for everybody, since we established our quorum for all the applicants, as you can see tonight, we only have 4 board members. So any cases that are approved tonight will need the support and votes of all 4 members. If it is not a vote in the favor of your application, if you do not receive all 4 votes, it's a default denial. Matt, did you want to add anything additional for applicants since we only have 4?
Yeah, no, I don't. Thank you, Therese. Yeah, as he said, so the code requires that the concurring vote of 4 members be required to approve an application. So if that does not happen, I can chat with people beyond that. So that being said, I am going to share my screen and get started with the first case.
And just let me add one more thing for the applicants. After you present, after there's questions from the board members and questions from the public, applicants, you do have, if you get a read that the case isn't going in the way you would like it, you do have the option to hold for the board to hold your case as well. So just an FYI on that as well. So go ahead, Matt, I'm sorry.
All right, so case number 1 is a hold from the September 23rd, 2021 hearing. It's a use variance at 541 Bay Street. File number V-006-2122, located in the C1 Neighborhood Center District. The applicant is the business owner, Marcy Nicastro, and the purpose is to add auto sales to an existing auto repair facility, a use not permitted in the district. I'm going to move Marcy over to present. And just as an FYI, Marcy, you do not need to go over everything that you did in the first hearing. The board members are all aware of that, so you can focus on the new items tonight. Marcy, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. Am I on?
Hi. Yeah. Hi. Yes. How are you, Ms. Nicastro?
Good. How are you? I'm really bad at this Zoom thing.
You're fine. Did you want to show video or you just no video tonight?
No, I will, but I don't know where to click it. Oh wait. No, wait. That's you. Shoot. I don't.
It should be a little. Are you on a computer?
Yeah.
It should be a little video icon next to the mute button. So it's a symbol of a microphone and a symbol of a camera next to each other.
Start video.
There you are. I see you. Hello. Hi. So let me swear you in. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So as Matt said, I was not at the hearing last month, but I did hear the testimony and I did hear the hearing and your testimony. But go right ahead if you wanted to add any additional information, and you still do have the 15 minutes if you would like to use it.
Okay. I'm going to kind of start at the beginning. I'm at the corner of Bay and Goodman, right at the edge of the Beechwood neighborhood and within Market View Heights. I know you know where I am. We have been in business since 1977, with myself being the owner operator since 2015. We are considered reliable, trustworthy, essential business in the neighborhood and are considered friends and partners with the neighborhood, always working with our direct neighbors to lend our parking lot or any services we need to. 2 of my employees actually live within a mile radius of the shop. I do not myself live within the city, but I spend more time at the shop than I do at my house, so I consider myself a city resident. Since I filled out the original paperwork back in July, the automotive repair industry has actually worsened. NBC News this week spotlighted us, specifically noting the employee shortage and the supply chain issues that we're seeing steadily worsen since wintertime. We're currently in the midst of a national supply chain problem where there's a national shortage on car parts, notably older cars. The average age of the cars that we see at our shop in our neighborhood driving around are between 2002 and 2014 models. These parts are now becoming obsolete. 80% of the customers in my shop actually live within the neighborhood. In addition to the prices on new and used cars are up, forcing people to maintain their higher mileage cars. It's reported that this is the nation's largest supply chain issue since World War II. We truly have a systemic disruption right now in the marketplace. And at the time, there are just not enough mechanics in the industry. We've had a constant struggle since we took over the shop in 2015 to find qualified mechanics. COVID-19 made it worse, first by enticing people to stay home for whatever their personal reasons were. Pay scales have been driven up. C-techs a year ago were making $12 an hour. Now they're 15 to 18. A-techs, which is our highest level advanced expert, are demanding 6 figures. My shop is not in a location where I can raise prices onto my customers or pass on any overhead increases. Again, 80% of my customers are from within a 5-mile radius of the shop, more so 3 miles. With the fewer techs that I have, I can repair fewer cars a day, and I'm not able to maintain the normal level of sales that I was once used to in 2015 to stay above the line. I have 5 bays in the shop and 2 full-time employees. One is an A-tech, one is a C-tech, and 1 part-time C-tech. So the struggle is these cars are building up in my lot, and I can't get them looked at and fixed and out the door on the same day. And we're struggling, and customers are getting upset and trying to stay patient with me, but I spend a lot of days at the phone turning business away. We have fewer student technicians in the school now learning locally. Rumor has it that there were 4 techs that joined the MCC program this year. I have not completely validated that, but there's definitely fewer techs. The techs now, when they come out of school, they're essentially engineers and electricians, because as cars get more and more advanced, they have to learn how these cars work. When these techs come out of these programs in college, the dealerships and large shops are scooping them up with sign-on bonuses and internship programs, where the small guy like me, I just can't compete. There are small vocational programs that we can scoop guys out of. However, they are low-level C-techs, which are lube techs and brake techs, where I'm not getting that relief at the high end that I need to keep my shop working, with all cylinders running, essentially. The labor market right now is just a battlefield. So if there is a guy out there, we're all keeping it secret that, no, he's mine, no, he's mine. Because again, it's a battlefield, and we don't want to let the secret out if somebody is available. The location of my shop and the age of the cars makes it difficult to get anybody that's coming out of school, simply because they don't want to stand under rust and work on old cars. They come out of school and want to use their skills on new cars and on all these new electronics that are on the cars. So it's very difficult for me to get employees at my location. Also, to state what's obvious, it's not uncommon that we hear gunshots during the day. We hear things going on a street over and a street over. So it's very difficult for me to get employees that want to work at the shop. When we come in the morning, there's generally evidence of that activity that happened the night before throughout the lot. Business as a whole is very vulnerable right now. I'm asking for this variance to permit the sale of cars on the lot, just to adapt to the new market conditions and make up for the downturn. My property will and always will remain an auto repair facility as the #1 function of the business. The character of the property will not change. The look and feel of the shop will not change. And from the street, there will be no visible difference as any other normal business day. I did submit a photo. I believe it was labeled south, showing 7 cars along my back south lot. If those cars were for sale on that day, the only difference would have been a sheet of paper in the window stating the vehicle specifications. I did testify there will be no flashy signage, no balloons, no advertising. Whether we place the cars there or anywhere else on the lot, nobody driving by would know any difference than if that car was there to be fixed and hasn't come in yet, has already been fixed and has been brought out, whether it was for sale or if it was just one of my friends stopping in to see me, which happens a lot. So generally on any given day, there's a good number of cars on my lot. I have written support from the Beechwood Association, the church across the street. I have a verbal from the laundromat across the street. And I do know for sure the Hawthorne School, which is next door, has not been occupied since March of 2020 because they had a water main break and they've all been relocated to the Freddie Thomas School. At any given time, I could be 3 months away from closing the doors. Vehicle sales is just a natural extension of the repair business. My customers trust us. They come to us for advice. Many times before they buy a car from somewhere else, they bring it to me and I complimentary pick it up in the air and we walk underneath. We show them what the car looks like. We scan to make sure the check engine light's not been cleared. And we let them know if it's a good deal or if they need to walk away from it. We do condemn a handful of cars a month. They often get left on my lot until they can make arrangements to get them sent to a junkyard or whatever they're going to do with them. But they're often looking for a very quick, inexpensive car to purchase. Again, it's just a natural extension. We fix the cars. We have history on the cars. I'm not looking to go to the auction to buy a dozen cars and put them on my lot to sell. What my main intention would be, if you decide, well, my car's got 150,000 miles on it, I don't really feel like putting $1,000 in it. I think I'm going to get rid of it. And then I say, well, why don't I buy it from you and I can fix it and turn it over to a customer? Just a quick turnover. My goal to hit my numbers, if I could sell 1 to 3 cars a month, I can make up the difference in my mortgage payment and make things a lot easier for myself. I am 100% willing to work with any conditions that you guys would like to place on me. In closing, I'd like to reiterate the fact I am not looking I'm looking to sell cars on the lot, a lot that has cars on it anyways. The character of the neighborhood, the appearance of the shop and the lot will have no difference than any other day. I consider myself part of the neighborhood. We often assist the Rochester Police Department if they need security footage of the intersection. We help the church across the street when they need parking at night or weekends for their overflow. The laundromat uses our parking lot when customers can't park at their shop. We let the Pop Warner kids fundraise in our parking lot. I do everything I can to give back to the neighborhood. This request could mean the difference between staying open or having to close the doors. I spend the first 15 minutes on any day picking up the garbage on the lot. Every day that multiplies. It's often littered with drug bags, paraphernalia, other disgusting things that have been left at night. Cars get broken into and people have slept in them. I do my best to maintain the landscaping and to keep the appearance up on a daily basis. Closing the doors here could make a major intersection eyesore in the neighborhood. And last but not least, I've testified I am more than willing to work with any conditions that you want to place. I'm just asking for your willingness to consider an approval.
Thank you, Ms. Nicastro. I appreciate your testimony. It was very good.
Sorry it was so long.
No, you got 15 minutes. You only used, you have 4 minutes and 40 seconds to spare. So let's run through some questions. So Holly, do you have any more questions?
Yes, I just have one additional question. One of the things that we asked you about last time we saw you was for additional information about your earning changes. And you said that if you could sell 1 to 3 cars a month, can you sort of talk us through the new information that you provided us with regards to how that would work for you?
Well, I have to work with estimates of the unknown. I don't know what I would buy cars for, what I would sell them for. I'm simply using a number of $1,000 to $1,500 profit per car, where my mortgage payment is $5,400 a month. If I could make up another 3 of that, takes a huge bear off my back. But again, those numbers, as far as my expenses go, those are concrete, those are real numbers. Any estimates on profit is simply a guess and a hope and a prayer.
Thank you.
Cora, any questions?
No questions for me. Thanks for coming back and working with us.
Joe?
I also remember last time we talked about the number of vehicles that you would have for sale on the lot and possibly cutting off the curb at Bay Street. Whereabouts did you plan on having the cars for sale?
Really the answer is wherever you tell me I can. Personally, I would love to be able to close off that Bay Street driveway. Just yesterday, I stood in the doorway and I saw 7 cars cut across because there was a fire truck down the street on Bay Street. And, it was at the end of the day and we're trying to pull cars in and move them and keep them inside so they're not outside at night. And I've got people cutting across, almost damaging the cars that aren't ours, they're customer cars.
Mhm.
So I would love that if I could. I just don't know if the city would let me do that.
Okay, what is the total capacity though of the lot then? Like you have you show in the photograph that in your package, like 7, 8 cars are out there. Let's see, there's count 6 there. Looks like it could have a couple more there. And then I think last month we sketched about 4 cars over on the Bay Street side, right? 4 or 5. I mean, I don't really have any problem with you putting as many cars as you can, provided like vehicle circulation is maintained. If you want to sell cars, you want it at the highest visible points of the site, that being Bay and Bay Road, excuse me, on the Bay Street side and on, what is it, Goodman there? The other one, the main one?
Yeah, it's good. It's
Anyways,
good, man.
along, Goodman. And then even I think when I was there, it looked like there might be room even along Goodman up against that island that's in the front there. Is there an island there, Marcy?
That's right out front. And then there's
Yeah.
another side right. We refer to, if you're looking at the shop from Goodman Street, the bay
Yeah.
doors go 1, 2, 3. There's still
Yeah.
a stretch in there. On any day, if I had to, I could probably put about 30 cars on the lot
Oh, okay.
from front, middle to side.
Okay.
So-
So let me ask this question, Matt. I know, there we go. We had this last month. That's what I was.
Right.
Yeah, I just brought the site plan up, so we
Okay.
got this again. Let me zoom in a little.
Yeah,
more.
thanks. Yeah, okay,
So
great.
this is Bay here. So north is to the right side.
Right.
Goodman is on the bottom.
Yeah. Okay. That planter though, that is shown right here in the middle here, that's not there though. You can drive right through, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
This
This,
here.
this is an older drawing. That does not
Okay.
exist anymore.
that's fine. So I guess my point is, Marcy, is that, I'm fine with, the car sales there. And my question was gonna be to Matt, do we just, it looks like she's got 8 spaces along there. I don't know if it's more beneficial to go perpendicular to Bay Street where you can get more. Maybe we just leave that up to Marcy, but,
Yeah, so you can impose conditions related to the number of cars as well as the location, or you can leave it up to the applicant. This is as a older site plan, as she said, that I put in the staff report just as a point of reference for.
I think I would only limit it to, provided they don't cut off access for emergency vehicles to get into the site. Should there be a product cars you can have on there for sale? I mean, if it's a matter of survival of the business, what's the difference between having 20 and 25 cars there? It's a car lot, especially along the south side there. I think she's going to benefit from being able to push some cars back to the west side that are in the service. What I want to call maybe the.
I agree. I agree with you, Joe, because she'll probably move those cars that aren't the best looking over to that other side and kind of get them off the corner.
Yeah, the ones that are going to be serviced, get them in the back, and then So I don't know, Matt, if you want to just work with her. Only condition I would have is just so that it maintains access for emergency vehicles. And I like the idea of cutting off Bay Street curb cut.
Yeah, well, I can, I don't know how it plays out with the Department of Environmental Services in terms of closing it, but yeah, our office can absolutely work
Okay.
with her.
All right, so, you know, I'm fine then. That's all I got, Tyrese.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, and I didn't have anything much. Yeah, it would be great to kind of close that, base street side, but I doubt as well they'll let you do it, but you should try. You should
It's-
try at least.
It is so dangerous.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I know how but they'll probably have to say, hey, points of ingress and egress and ingress. So, you should try though. I didn't have a problem with it as well. I totally agree with Joe. If the cars are already there, for sale or not for sale. I think even precluding, I know I heard a lot about COVID, but I think with or without COVID, it would have accelerated these trends that we're seeing. It just really accelerated trends that were already coming. So even beyond that. So, and I do think even as an urban planner, I want to see less cars. I do think that it's a good service for the neighborhood as well, because, I may want to see, different modes of transportation, but people do need access to car sales in that neighborhood as well. So they don't have to drive out to the suburbs. So I do think it is a benefit to the community as well, even though I'm trying to get as many vehicles off the road as possible as an urban planner. But I've got nothing else. Do we have any comments for this from the public?
The only other comment that I don't need to read into the record, it was posted on the website for anyone to see. It was also provided to board members as a note for the hearing, was from the church. And that public comment was in support of the application and posted on the city website for public viewing. And there's no call-ins for the application.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Castro, thank you very much. We appreciate your time tonight. You have a good one.
Thank you
Alrighty.
guys so much.
Okay, let me just switch over here to the next case. All right, case number 2. Case number 2 is file V-008-2122. This is also a hold from the September 23rd, 2021 hearing. It's an area variance request at 165 Traverse Circle, located in the R1 low density residential district. Applicant is the property owner, Brian Graham, and the purpose is to widen an existing driveway to allow for the parking of a motorcycle trailer not leading to a legal parking space and not meeting certain accessory use and structure standards. And we have.
Did you want to say something about the, did you have to say something about the application or no?
Oh, yeah, so, well, I said it in the pre-meeting. So
Oh, okay,
Brian
okay,
called
okay.
me. Yeah, that's enough. Yep, and Brian's on the call now.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Graham, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Let's get you sworn in. Can you raise your right hand?
Sure.
Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you've got 15 minutes. You can add on what you talked about last month or add any additional information, but you've got 15 minutes and the floor is yours.
Do I have to reiterate anything of the last case, or are we
Up to you. We're up to speed as a board, but it's all up to you. Whatever you decide.
Okay. Well, if we're all up to speed and on the same part, Mr. O'Donnell asked me to go out and find different locations to park my trailer, and I have found a few spaces to park the trailer, which ranges from 11 miles to 15 miles. And the price ranged from $75 to $115. My asking of the variance is because this is an additional $1,000 plus that I will have to pay for outside storage, plus my time and mileage to go and pick my vehicle up. Also, what I had forgot to add from the first time that I had spoke was the snow removal in my yard. I would not be able to even remove the snow from my yard to even move my vehicles out unless I was able to pave over that grass part. You know, instead of tearing up grass, I would like to just pave it out so that, I will be able to snow remove. Outside of that, I really don't have anything extra to add. I mean, if there's something where you have questions about the mileage and anything else, I mean, I have all my verbal agreements from all my neighbors that have came to the house and appreciate that we're trying to do it the right way. So I've been in very good support of my neighborhood to apply for this variance and to actually put down the rest of the driveway. I'm finished.
Okay, Holly, you got any questions?
I asked 8,000 last month, so I have none new this month.
Cora, any questions? I was on mute, I'm sorry.
No questions from me.
Joe?
Just one, how many places did you actually get quotes from, Brian?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was in my in my area that had outdoor storage for RVs and trailers.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's all I want to know.
And I didn't have any additional questions. I was out there. It seems like a lot of the neighbors on the street had, much large. I was out there in measuring tape, and I can't remember much larger curb cuts than you did. So in terms of the character of the neighborhood, it was like three houses that I went to immediately next to you, going towards the Brooker Street way. And their driveways seem to be all, the same size that I think that you want to get enlarge yours to. So I didn't really see a problem with it. Street looks great. You guys, all of you, as you said in your previous testimony, really keep that area looking great. So I appreciate you doing that in the community. So Matt, did we have any additional comment?
No additional comments nor any call-ins.
That was easy. Okay, Mr. Graham, we appreciate your time tonight, and have a good weekend.
Thank you. Ladies, have a good weekend.
Okay, very good. We will get started with case number 3, which is a new case this evening. This is file V-016-2122. It's an area variance request at 62 Marshall Street. This property is located in the C1 Neighborhood Center District. The applicant listed on the agenda is the sign company, Skylight Signs, Jim Colombo, but we have Jeff Ching, the business owner, here with us this evening. And the purpose is to install 2 attached signs for strange bird exceeding certain sign limitations.
Okay, perfect. It's Ching, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Ching, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Let me swear you in and we get started. So can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, 15 minutes. The floor is yours.
Okay, well, the background, we are a restaurant and brewery that has moved into the former Abundance Co-op building at the end of Marshall Street, where it's a vibrant neighborhood with several restaurants, one of which I've had a part of for the past 10 years, which is Owl House. We essentially want to replace some of the existing Abundance Co-op signage with our own. So there's a mass sign that runs coming off the building. It's a feather. We want to light it so that people can see it while they're driving or walking down from Monroe Avenue. And then, yep, you can see that there, the black and white feather. It's about 6 feet tall. And then some of the windows to the right of that used to be cement block, and we've replaced them with actual windows. And there used to be a sign right there that we're going to put a strange bird sign above it instead. So, it's important for us as a business to be able to identify our location, identify that we have a parking lot for those who are driving, and we'll have bicycle parking over there for people taking other modes. as I said, Marshall Street is a great neighborhood. The Wadsworth Square neighborhood, I think, has been very supportive of our project. And we're excited to get open in the next month or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think your child has told us we got to approve this thing. So no, I'm joking.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Go. Let's see if anybody on the board has any questions. Appreciate
Cool.
that.
Thank you.
Let's start with Joe this time.
Let me just mute while I was.
Thanks, Terry. So I just want to be sure it's just the logo that's internally lit, right? Or is it the Strange Bird channel lettering as well?
Correct. The logo is internally lit, and the Strange Bird font is it's like a brushed aluminum stainless steel look, not lit.
Okay, just want to make sure. That's all I got, Terry.
Okay, Holly.
No questions.
Cora.
I have the same question as Joe. I went by yesterday and it looks great. Looks like a nice addition to the neighborhood. So no questions.
You gotta see how the beer is first. You can't say it's great until you taste the beer, Cora.
Well, the lighting looks
it's on my list now. Hey, just a quick question. So the feather sign that's illuminated, that illumination comes on dusk to dawn automatically?
It certainly can be.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how.
LED.
I want to know how was that operation when it turns on, and is there a manual override to shut it off?
We'll have it. It'll be a switch. We probably would have. We have a timer switch. I think for some of the other parking lot lighting that we would do something similar. So it'd come on at 6 p.m. and go off at probably after close. So it would be like midnight. It would turn off.
And that was my other question. What time do you guys close?
We're closed at 11 p.m. So,
okay, yeah, because my only suggestion would be to kind of limit you guys to turn it off when you close, is to put that in your, even though you could tell me we're going to turn it off, but no, I know. I just wanted to make sure we cover ourselves, because you can't really see it, but there is some, you do have some neighbors next to you, so that was my only concern. I think it looks really good, and you guys would, and you obviously would be open to that. Like if we say it has to be off by, 11:30, midnight, whatever that is.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, pretty much everything else looks excellent on that building. Appreciate you guys' investment into the city. So do we have any additional comment on that from the public?
No, nothing additional, just the stuff that was included in the original staff report.
Perfect. Okay.
And no comments.
Okay, great. I'll let you get back to the kids. So right. Thanks for being with us. Have a good weekend, okay?
Appreciate it. You too.
Alrighty.
All right, we will get started with case number 4, which is an area variance request at 780 Dewey Avenue. The file number is V-017-2122. Zoning district is C2 Community Center District. The applicants tonight are, as we heard earlier, Rob and Jessica Davis from ProSign. The purpose is to replace a series of signs, both attached and detached, for Sunoco exceeding certain sign limitations.
Hi, this is Jessica Davis. Sorry, I'm trying to attempt to fix my camera here. Not 100% sure why it's not turning on. You can't see me, can you?
No,
it's okay.
Shoot.
We can hear you. That's what matters. We can.
Okay. I don't know why. What's that?
I said it's camera issue night.
I know. I don't know why it's not turning on.
Yeah, okay. It may be something deeper in the settings that you may have to go to on Zoom or on your computer to allow access. That's usually what it is, but I don't want to hold us up, so we're gonna move forward.
Right.
So
okay.
Can you raise your right hand, and I would maybe I'll see it. No, but do you see?
I'm raising it. I don't know if you can tell, but I am.
Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, 15 minutes. Go right ahead.
Okay, so the station is an existing Sunoco, and we are proposing to upgrade it to Sunoco's new brand image. It's a much cleaner, more modern look. It's not as outdated as all the flashy colors that once were Sunoco's approach. It's going to be all blue with a light blue stripe at the bottom. And there's also an additional canopy being proposed here on the right-hand side of the building that I believe is facing, Lexington. And that there's 2 dispensers over there. So there'd be an additional canopy added to benefit the customer, benefit the consumer there. So there's coverage while they're pumping the fuel. So what we have proposed for signage, the Sunoco diamonds that you see on the short sides of the canopies, those are internally illuminated and they have a halo illumination as well. And the Sunoco and the arrow on the front side of the longer side of the canopy that's facing Dewey are both internally illuminated. The fascia itself is non-illuminated and it is 2 colors, the dark blue and the light blue. And it is a dimensional type fascia. So there is, the darker blue has a dimension versus the lighter blue. So the lighter blue is flat to the existing fascia. The dark blue fascia on top is about 4 inches deep. So it will have some dimension to it to add a little bit of interest. That is one thing that can be done as flat fascia instead of the dimensional fascia, if that is something that's requested. The building is going to be just a solid sapphire blue with a Food Mart decal, which is non-illuminated, just a flat white sticker on there. So that will be a significant upgrade to what's there now, which is an unbranded A+ location. The dispensers will be re-imaged with the same color scheme as the canopies and as the building. The freestanding sign, which I think was one of the larger points on this variance, which I think was a non-conforming sign originally and maybe a previous variance approved for this. We are proposing to reface the freestanding sign. So we'd be updating the faces to just a white background, internally illuminated. All the signs are internally illuminated. You can see the night view that the price cabinet and the official fuel of NASCAR cabinet, that background does not light up. It would just be the actual product grades, the product prices, and the text of the official fuel of NASCAR. The Sunoco cabinet, the white background and the diamond will illuminate. So we are proposing to reface the existing sign that has been there for quite some time. I tried to go back on Google Earth as far back as I could, and it took me, I think, to 2007, and the site looked the exact same as it does today. So it's definitely a much needed upgrade for this location, and we think that it will bring in more customers with a nice, clean aesthetic, very modern, brighter station. So hopefully people will feel more safe in the location and able to dispense fuel there and go into the Food Mart and, purchase convenience goods. I think that is everything I have.
Okay.
I will try to answer any questions as best as possible.
Okay. Matt, can you go back up? Oh, right there. Go back to where it's showing so go back down 1 page. Yep. Okay. So nope. Go back to where it's showing. Yep. Right there. Perfect. Jessica, quick question for you. So let's look at the canopy first over the pumps. So number 4 there, just to clarify, number 4 is illuminated 04, correct?
Yes, that is illuminated. Just the actual diamond itself. So it's the diamond body and then the arrows are illuminated. Not that entire light blue section, just the diamond.
Would you guys be open to not having that illuminated since it's facing residents right there?
If we have, absolutely. It's more prominent to have that that branding on the side of the canopy for people who are driving down Dewey. So if that's what's necessary to have that, we could do that not illuminated.
Yeah, I think it's tough for people to see it, but that's just my opinion. And then my other question is looking at the number. Yep, thank you, Matt. Number 1 here, and that is illuminated as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Let me. A lot of people probably know how I feel about this application, but let's go to some other board members. So let's start with Holly this time.
You started out with Holly an awful lot tonight, Tyrese.
It's only 4. It's only 4 of us.
I just need a little bit of clarification on the last sign that we talked about, the freestanding one that you're refacing. So is that changing the size of it, or is it just making it look updated and better?
Just making it look updated and better. The size will remain the same.
Okay. Thank you. That's my only question.
Oh, you're welcome.
Let's go to Joe.
Yeah, I've got several questions. So, Jess, I guess one of the things I'm really struggling with on this application is one, it's been our goal as the zoning board for many, many years now to get rid of pole signs and go to monument signs. We've gotten a lot of pushback over the years regarding that, but history has shown that the monument signs have become more effective. They've not been vandalized. They're code compliant, zoning code compliant, and owners have actually, again, thought that they were more visible because they were at the sight lines of the passerby. I look at if I go through the standards here, so no other remedy. The other remedy is to go to a monument sign, which would knock out 2 variances. Going to the no canopy lights with no canopies, which we've held steadfast on Valeros over the years as an example, where they weren't allowed to advertise on the canopy. And in the last variance you're looking for, I have to employ the significance of the variance. You want 11 colors when 3 are allowed. That's pretty significant. So I've got problems with each and every one of the variances being requested for tonight. So that's really, I'm going to let you respond to that because they're really more comments than anything else.
Okay. So the freestanding sign, yes, you're correct. The other remedy would be to remove that sign and install a monument sign. It's just a very large expense when refacing the sign that's been there for over a decade. It was approved at one point in time. So, to the dealer and to Sunoco, they're pushing to have that sign refaced because it is a much more cost-effective way to update the brand. In regards to the canopy signage, I do see that the existing site has a solid blue canopy with 2 Sunoco signs, which to my knowledge are both illuminated signs. So if you wanted to eliminate some of the signs on the canopy, that is definitely something we could possibly do. We could remove the arrow from the long side of the canopy facing Dewey. Doesn't say the Sunoco brand on it, so that would be something that they'd be willing to remove. Doing non-illuminated signs, as you discussed, we could do that as well. Having that Sunoco name on the canopy would be one of the most important things to Sunoco, as well as having that freestanding sign, at least having the name up there so that customers can see it in the same position that it's been for a long time. I do have a question about the 11 colors. Can you tell me what the 11 colors are?
Yeah, I was just going to comment on that, actually. This is Matt, I'm staff. I think what occurred here for the internally illuminated, I think we cited it because you provided sorry, I'm trying to page over to it. A color specification sheet included as part of the plan set that you submitted to us, which is in the back of the application.
Right, the paint colors.
But I think, correct, yeah, no, but I think the issue is we cited it as part of the variance, but I think, so for example, the internally illuminated sign has yellow, blue, and red.
Right.
Correct, is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so the 8 colors, let's say the more than 3, whether it be 8 or 11.
Right.
Is not actually, it's in total, it's not on the actual one of the internally illuminated signs, is that right?
Because I would count, the dark blue, light blue, red, yellow, and there's black behind the NASCAR logo, which is their logo. So, are you counting white as a color and as well?
Yeah. So, but it's not 11, correct? But it's in total on the entire thing, correct? So yeah, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think. The light blue, the dark blue, the red, the yellow,
the white,
and white, which would make 5, and black. Well, the black is just the background, so I would say 5.
So 5, okay. So it's not 11, it's 5 colors then.
Correct. Yeah, my apologies on that. As Joe brought up that question, Joe, I'm glad you brought up that point on the staff report as well. Yeah, so it does exceed the 3, but it's not 11. So the correction is that it's
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Okay, Cora.
That's all I got, Tyrese.
Thank you, Jill. Cora.
I can't remember off the top of my head, and I drive through this area almost every day. What's directly across the street? Is it a garden?
I can double check. Hold on 1 second. Let me just look.
I think it is, Cora. I think it's one of those gardens that was done a
Like
few years
community
ago.
garden, right? Okay, that's what I thought. And then on the other side of Lexington is residential, correct? I'm just trying to get a visual of the area.
There is residential.
Mhm.
Yes, it looks like there's residential behind and then across, yes, on the other side of Lexington.
And then
And
what's
directly
that?
across.
Tyrese mentioned this, the canopies on either side, both behind the building and then to the south of the building, both have residential on it adjacent to the gas station.
That red, there's like a red house or something. Is that a business next door or is that residential? Does anybody know? I don't
That's,
know.
I believe
that's
it's-
residential.
That's
The majority is residential. I
That's what
mean,
I'm
some
saying.
commercial, majority is residential.
Okay, that's all I got right now.
Yeah, looking at this first one, Jessica, just want to be really honest with you. I mean, my comments align with Joe exactly. This one is going to be tough for you guys to get through with 4 members, or I think with even the full board here. The suggestions I want to give you in this is something because, I'll just be honest with you. You need 4 votes. I can tell you it's not going to happen, tonight. So suggestions I would give you, to come back is, I think it's going to be, as Joe mentioned in all of what he spoke about, it's going to be tough to get the lighting on the canopy. I mean, on the canopy over the food mart, getting that signage. And I think you really got to look at taking some of that. I'm not against the Sunoco on the canopy over the pumps, but the illuminations is the challenge. And the pole side, I mean, it's not gonna fly. As Joe mentioned, I know it was previously approved, but it's an attempt to get pole signs down and to really help beautify our communities and throughout the city. So I think it's a challenge there, but I think it's some opportunities, some suggestions that when you come back, you can talk to the owner and to the Sunoco folks to come back with, something that I think will really benefit the community from a design perspective. I don't have any further, that's just comments, no questions, but let's see if we have any further comments from the community.
There's no comments from the community. Am I on mute? No, there are no comments from the community. I do want to address though, and the applicant can certainly say yes or no to this. If this is the application and there's not willing to make changes, then the board can vote on that tonight. If the board wants to provide, some potential changes or, while, maybe not 4 feet, but maybe 5 or 6 or something, then we could do an adjournment here and the applicant could come back in the November hearing. And you can do that during the hearing now. So that's a conversation between, I guess, the board and the applicant, just in terms of process.
Well, I can say right off the bat, I'm 100% with Tyrese. I mean, I'm just not for it at all. So I would tell her to come back or get a denial and come back with a much more substantially different application.
Yeah, and I think if you would like, Matt, I think you kind of understand. And if you don't, if you understand what the board and the city what we will be looking for to kind of help the applicant with that, or during deliberations, we can, if we take it, if the applicant doesn't want us to hold it and wants us to deliberate and vote on it, we can certainly give those suggestions during deliberations as well.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Yep, I got you.
I would say that we are willing to compromise, to be able to make modifications to the application to get approval. So, I mean, I can put some things together. So let me just try to clarify a little bit here. So no illumination on the canopy above the dispensers. I heard you mention something about the canopy above the food mart, but that would be totally non-illuminated other than like standard building lighting to light up, to light the ground for people to walk. There's no lighting on that food mart section. That would just be solid blue with a vinyl food mart decal.
Yeah. Let me just jump in here only because I probably have the most experience on this issue. I would suggest taking a look at the Bolero that's over on North Clinton, I think, in the city. I believe back then we approved an illuminated canopy, but they only had the V as the sign on there. There wasn't the word Bolero. They took down the pole sign. They put up a monument sign that was effective, and I can name 4 situations off the top of my head. Gil Tags Mobile on the corner of Brooks and Genesee. And I, in fact, have heard from that owner that as upset as he was that he lost his pole sign, he's happy he has his monument sign now. And I believe Mobile gave him money to put that monument sign up. So I also have an issue related to costs. I also point out there's another station on Goodman that has a monument sign. And then there was an Aaron's on Lyle Avenue. Aaron's, I think they were an appliance store. All of those signs I've driven by frequently, and they've been up 5, 6, 7, 8, some of them 10 years. Not 1 ounce of vandalism have I seen. So I just some suggestions, Jessica, that I would look at some examples, and Matt could probably forward you the exact addresses of
that'd be great.
Other locations that the board has approved.
Okay, no, I definitely appreciate the advice and the comments. So if you could forward me the addresses, I can send them to the owner and have him either drive by, take a look at some example stations, and talk to Sunoco about that as well.
Okay.
So for the canopy,
Jessica?
yes, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, yeah, I'll work with you on going forward for this. The next
Okay.
hearing is November the 18th. Would it be yours and the owner's intent to be placed on that agenda?
Yes, it would.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm gonna say is we'll do it. You can keep talking, but this will be about the changes you may want to see, but this will be an adjournment for the November 18th zoning board hearing.
Matt, I didn't mean to dump that on you. I will send you some of those addresses when I drive by
No,
those.
it's fine. And I have examples of other
Okay.
fueling stations and commercial establishments where the board has given some sort of lesser relief. There was actually just one on Genesee Street 2 months ago, I think.
Yeah, 671 Brooks Avenue was the mobile.
Yep. No, that's not a problem. I'm happy to do that. I'll work
Okay,
with,
all right. I just didn't
yes.
want to dump
Yep.
more work on you.
No, that's fine. All right, very good. Anything else from the board?
No. I think the biggest thing, Jessica, to communicate back to the owner, pole sign is not going to fly. So, I mean, obviously the owner has the option to not change the face of the pole sign and keep it up, because that, then they can just keep it. But if they want to change it,
Right.
it's got to come down. Tell them it'll be better. Tell them it's
Okay.
much better for the city, much better for the residents.
Okay.
So, if he's that committed to the community, but yeah, Matt will work with you, and I appreciate you. I know it's not you, it's the owner. You're just the representative from this side.
I'm just the messenger here.
I know.
But I will communicate that. I will communicate that back to them.
Yes, and one more suggestion. You should suggest that the owner joins the call next time, and we really appreciate that. It means a lot.
Absolutely.
Just FYI.
I will definitely make that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
So do we
Thank
need to
you very
vote to
much.
hold it, Matt?
Yeah, you
Or
can
no?
do that right now.
Okay. Is there can I get a motion to hold?
I'll make a motion to hold the case.
I'll second it.
All right, and all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, so that's done, and I'll work with Jessica on that. All right, very good. So we have.
Thank you,
one more
Jessica.
case.
Thank you.
We have one more case to be heard tonight, which is case 6. As we mentioned during the pre-meeting, case number 5, for 52 Harlem Street was removed from the agenda by the applicant, so that case will not be heard tonight. It is the intent of the owner to go before the November 18th hearing. And if that happens, postcards will go out, the sign will be on the property, and all the other items that go along with that. So case number 6 is file V-019-2122. It's an area variance request at 181 Kirkland Road. The zoning district is R1 low density residential district. The applicant is the property owner, Merlene McCullough, and the purpose is to install a driveway. We talked about the dimensions during the pre-meeting. On the left side of an existing single family dwelling, which terminates, and that should say in the side yard, not leading to a legal parking space. And Shamil. Oh, there's 2.
Hello? 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 One moment.
If you have 2 devices, it might be your phone, just mute one of them.
We don't have two. No, I only have one. No, it ain't work. That ain't work. Hold on.
Can you mute? Can you go off and come back on? Like, can you just leave the meeting and come back on? We'll wait for you. I promise.
You promise? Because
I promise.
Okay. So leave down there. Leave. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only way I know how to do it. I mean, besides that, I don't.
She does have another device on here.
Were you seeing another device or?
Yeah, but it won't let me move that device over. It stays locked, which is very strange. So I'll wait for the other one to come back on. I've never seen that before. That's why I thought maybe the echo is from 2 devices.
Yeah. Did you give Sunoco a heads up before they came forward? I knew you did. I don't know why I asked you. I knew you did. I know you do.
I believe my exact words were, "This is going to get denied." And then I provided examples of like all the speedways that you all did.
Oh, okay, great.
Oh, gee, that's right. I forgot about all those.
Yeah, Monroe Ave, East Ave, the Valero, you talked about that. The mobile on Brooks.
The sign is
Gotcha.
the one on Genesee and Barton finally came down.
Oh,
Yes,
it
the one
did.
that
Mhm.
Wow.
had to go down to 6. And he came in as soon as that decision was done and showed me the drawing of cutting it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so is he
There we
putting?
go.
Oh, so he's putting up a monument.
Yeah, he had to cut it to 6.
Wow.
That's right. Cora and I talked about this last month, that it hadn't been done yet. So he's done it since then. I haven't been by.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
looks like sometimes people just need to hear it from the board when a staff member says it. They're like, no, I'll get it. Okay, she is back on, so you can go ahead and unmute yourself and.
Moment of truth.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Perfect. It's a little echo, but hey, we'll have to deal with it. We don't hear ourselves echoing, so it's a little better. We were also hearing ourselves echo as well, so I think that would have been
Sorry
challenging.
it took so long.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So
Yeah, I'm-
let's jump right in. So can you raise your right hand? I don't see it, but it's okay. I believe you have it up. Do you solemnly affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it is.
You've got 15 minutes. Go right ahead.
Okay. I put in the application to receive a driveway. Here we go again.
Okay, I just muted her. Is there, if you can hear me, the way you're coming through, it just echoes into a vacuum. And for some reason, it's coming up that you have another device on here, which I don't understand. Let's try this again.
And if this doesn't work, Ms. McCullough, Matt, they're provided that call-in number as well, aren't they?
Yes, so there's you can
Okay.
call in on your phone that's in the invite that I sent.
I think that's going to be our option here.
Yep, and I'm gonna send that number in the chat to the person. Give me 1 sec, to the applicant.
So, Ms. McCullough, we're going to send a phone number, and there was a phone number included in the email that was sent to you, and you could just call on any cell phone and just call
I
in.
tried to do that, and we were having trouble with that. So
Okay.
that's why we tried this.
So this seems to be working for the moment, though.
Is it okay now?
It's a little echo, so why don't you go right ahead and let's see how long we last.
Okay, I submitted my application because after purchasing the home, I purchased it without a driveway, knowing that it would probably cause a small problem, but no, it's a huge problem. And I haven't experienced a winter yet with the parking situation, but I know that it's probably gonna, just get even more worse. And on top of it, I was in a horrible car accident less than 2 years ago where I broke my neck and my back. So just that alone, bringing in groceries, trying to park close to the house. Since I've moved in, I've had to walk around the block just to go home because it's always cars lined up on the street. So a driveway would be greatly appreciated. And it will be very convenient for me while living there. I've already been approved for a grant to put in the driveway, and I read your notes as far as trees. I think it's 3 trees, and they would definitely be removed also. And it is enough room to pull a car in up into my steps that are on the side of the house, which is the left house, the left side.
Okay. Was there anything else? I think we're going to have some questions for you, but was there anything else you wanted to share, Ms. McCullough?
No, nothing other than I really want the driveway just for my safety and for convenience as far as parking. Like I said, it's horrible to have to walk around the block to even bring groceries in the house or anything heavy. It's just like a huge inconvenience. And then I watch my neighbors, most of them have driveways, but for some reason, I guess everybody has family members or people visiting. So all the parking spots, they get taken up, and this is from morning to night. So it's just like a huge inconvenience. That would be all.
Okay, let's get some questions from the board.
Okay.
And let's start with Joe.
Well, oh boy, this is another tough one. I mean, when I was out there looking at the site today, I had just the location of it I really struggle with, only because it just jams it right into the corner between the house and the fence. And it takes down all those beautiful trees that are there. To the applicant, did you have any discussions with the developer? I don't know if it's the city. I know, Matt, you mentioned there's a project going on next door. Was there any discussions with the neighbor of that new house that's being built? I believe it's a new house, as to some sort of shared parking or anything?
I'm sorry, you said which house is this?
If I'm looking at your house to the right, it looks like there's another house being built or some sort of a project being built. We talked about this in our pre-meeting.
From my understanding, that city owned, and the only person I've talked to was one of the developers, I guess, that came out, and I asked him, would a driveway be put in? And he said yes, for the house that's being built. So that eliminated my chances of even trying to get a driveway on that side, because they bought the whole lot.
Yeah,
I was
parcel we're
just
talking about
wondering
is, yeah, I just wanted to say the parcel you're talking about, Joe, I think is to the right of her property.
Yeah.
Which is 189-193 Kirkland Road, and that is
Right.
part of the L2P West Side scattered site development, which is the construction of, I believe, 41 separate detached single-family homes.
Yeah, no, I know you mentioned that, but was there any thought to how and I don't know if the city has control over that, but could there have been a driveway on would be the east side or the west side of the applicant's property and the east side of the one that's being built, that a driveway could be shared where the applicant could get to the back of the house on just a shared driveway? I'm just throwing out ideas.
Yeah, that was my just before. Yeah, that was kind of my question exactly, Joe, because I think we asked the question because I think historically, as you see in this neighborhood, a lot of these houses are very large, and a lot of these newer rent-to-own homes are much smaller in scale. So I'm expecting it, in my expectation, I haven't seen the plans for the house to be much smaller in scale than the existing homes. So I'm with Joe there. If there was any conversation to do a shared parking, would the owner be willing to sell part of the piece to this owner? Oh, here it is. Is this it right here? Oh, I didn't see this in my application. Was this in my application?
No, it wasn't in the application.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But so Matt, we're looking at it from.
Can you zoom in a bit?
So she's just to the right of this development, right? Yeah. Okay. So, I mean.
So that's a lot of grass lawn. If I'm looking at it correctly, Joe.
Yeah. And the driveway is on the right side for possibly shared driveway or even a parking spot there where that grass lawn is. Would love to see some discussion where, I don't know, that asphalt driveway, it's moved over to the east a little bit, and then the applicant could get to the back of her house even. I'd love to see that. I don't know if there's any opportunity there, Matt, to have any discussions with this developer.
Joe, would it even be, even if you can't get all the way in the back, would you give her, almost half? If she was willing, and I think that's what I'm more inclined to as well. I don't know if that's an opportunity for us to hold this, but Cora, Holly, jump in if you have any questions or comments as well. I don't want to just.
Tyrese, you actually said my exact thoughts. The houses over there are huge. The lot is very large. Yeah, I don't see a new property in there being quite as large as.
So it's 1,000 square foot house, yeah.
Yeah, it's so congested over there. I definitely see the need for the driveway.
I agree.
So congested. You got the school up the street. I would love to see it on the other side as well.
Yeah, and to the point of the applicant, her lot, I do think poses a unique circumstance in that they built the house so big on a small lot, you could never get a driveway to the back in any event. We've seen this many times because they've got this, looks like some sort of monumental staircase on the east side of her house to go into the house. But it seems to show a back porch entry somewhere or somehow. I'm not sure how the floor plan
Well, she has a side entrance on that. I was out there. It's a side entrance there too on her home, on that side where the new house is being built as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it would be awesome if they could get either a shared driveway that she could go into hers from there or something. I mean, I'm looking at this plan. There's probably 3 different ways I could suggest a layout. But the first thing we have to find out is if the owner of this new property is even willing to discuss accommodating the applicant.
Yeah, so I want to jump in here for a second because, I want to have the applicant weigh in on this, and I just want to make sure the applicant knows. So Ms. McCullough, what the property to your, I guess it's to your right, which is a parcel that contains 77 feet of street frontage along Kirkland Road, will eventually have, if it's not already started to be constructed, a detached single family on it, which will be pushed mostly to the western boundary, closer to Warwick Avenue. And so the board members are wondering if it's something you'd be willing to entertain, I guess 2 different ways, potentially doing some sort of an easement over it, or actually subdividing and buying off a portion of land, which would actually give you more space on the right side of your property, and then be able to do a driveway on that side, which may not get into the rear yard, but it would definitely get back to like the rear wall of the house. Does that kind of sum up, board members, what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Perfect.
I mean, how long would this process take? Like, I know you said we'd have to get approval from the owner.
Yeah, so it's a great question. I
Is
don't
that
have an
something that
exact
your
answer.
office, is that something
Yeah,
your
we
office
could,
can
yeah.
facilitate?
Yeah, we can. I don't have a exact answer to the time frame, but you and I could work together on exploring that option if it is an option, one of those 2 things. But yes, in answer to the question, yes, absolutely.
I think you could get an answer pretty quickly if the owner of this property, where the house is being built, was even going to entertain the idea. Because if he says flat out no, then
That's the.
Then we have to go back and review this application as it stands.
Correct. Yeah. So if in answer to your question, Tyrese, yes, that is something our office can assist with facilitating if that's.
So yeah, Ms. McCullough, I mean, the zoning office will be willing to kind of accelerate these conversations. So, I mean, you're not searching for this individual. The city would, reach out to the owner and see if they can facilitate a conversation and get an answer. And I think at minimum, we would try to ask the zoning office to do this relatively quickly. So like as our board member Joe O'Donnell says, if the owner says flat out no, see if we can get you back on the docket in November as soon as possible. I think it's going to be challenging for us.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, I think it'll be challenging right now for us to support this approval right now without at least trying to dig into that. And it helps if you have the city's, behind you and talking to this individual who purchased this land up from the city, and they're probably getting tax credits for it so I think it's a different conversation just because of the situation as a rent to own, the owner's getting tax credits. So, I mean, their skin in the game is a bit different if they were an owner occupied building, something that they were going to live in.
Okay. So, I don't know. I just was trying to get it done as soon as possible.
No, we hear you. We hear you.
Yeah.
The city.
The other thing is, because I have my grant, I hope I don't lose my grant. You understand?
Individual. Is the grant through the city of Rochester?
No, it is through Market View Heights.
I would think unless there's a a legal issue involved with any extension, the city would be
Yeah, I
able to
would-
work that out with Market View. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
I would too, yeah.
That'd be my guess, but I'm not an attorney, so I'm just thinking, you know, let's at least start with that, you know, path of strategy and go from there.
All right.
I will reach out to you so we can work together on this ASAP.
Okay.
I think this will be beneficial in Matt, if you need me and Joe, the big guns, to talk to him, let us know.
No, I think I'm okay, but I will keep that in mind.
You're much better off without us.
I'm glad you said it, Joe. Okay, any board members objection to what's being discussed now? And then we can
No.
move into, okay.
No, thanks for bringing that site plan up though. That helped tremendously.
Yeah, that was great.
All right, very good. So what we can do now is we can go into deliberations. Do you guys want to pause for a moment or just jump into it? We just have 3 cases.
No, we can jump right into it.
Okay, Cora looked like she was going to say something.
Yeah, can I have 2 minutes?
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
so we'll come back at 7:25. We'll do 7:28.